Welcome to the Explainer. Today we are diving into the physics of heat transfer, and we're going to trace this from the everyday items sitting right there in your kitchen all the way up to, well, the entire planet Earth. It's a pretty wild journey from the micro to the macro, and I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to look at your morning coffee and the sky above you totally differently.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll start small with kitchen pans, unpack the clever engineering inside thermos flasks, and then check out building insulation. After that, we're scaling way up to the planetary level to look at the greenhouse effect and ultimately global warming. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Kitchen Pans.
Think back to the last time you whipped up a quick meal. The exact moment you place a metal pan on a hot stove, it heats up incredibly fast, right? That's because the metal is a fantastic conductor. It rapidly absorbs heat straight from the flame and passes it right through its surface, which is exactly what cooks your food so evenly. Now, the underlying mechanism at play here is something called conduction. Basically, that's the transfer of heat through direct contact between particles. Think of it kind of like a microscopic relay race. The fast-moving, energized particles from your heat source literally bump directly into the particles of the metal pan, passing that thermal energy right along. It's the whole reason why the flame, the pan, and your food are all intimately connected through that direct contact.
Moving on to Section 2, thermos flasks.
So we've talked about how heat moves, but what if you want to keep heat exactly where it is? You know, the real secret behind keeping your coffee piping hot or your water ice cold for hours on end? Well, it isn't magic. Actually, it's an absolute masterclass in thermal insulation. Let's break down this three-pronged defense mechanism, because it's brilliantly simple. First, right between the double walls of the flask is an actual vacuum. Because there's basically no air or material in that vacuum to move the heat around, it completely stops heat transfer by both conduction and convection, dead in its tracks. Second, the inside walls are coated with a reflective, silvered layer. This is super clever because it bounces radiation right back into the liquid, keeping all that heat trapped inside. And finally, the outer casing and the lid are made from insulating materials, usually plastic or stainless steel, just to prevent any overall heat loss to the outside environment. It's basically a perfectly engineered little heat fortress.
All right, Section 3. Building Insulation.
What's really cool is we can take those exact same thermos principles we just talked about and scale them right up to architecture. Common building techniques like double-glazed windows or false ceilings basically work by trapping air. When we add thick curtains or foam into our walls, it successfully reduces heat loss through all three of those mechanisms we just went over: conduction, convection, and radiation. So why does this matter to you? Well, because this practical, everyday application is literally where physics meets your wallet. During cold weather, insulation stops all that nice, warm indoor air from escaping. And in hot weather, it acts like a shield, preventing the blistering outside heat from getting in. By maintaining the right temperature naturally, insulation massively cuts down your need to run heaters and air conditioners constantly. So ultimately, you save energy and you lower your bills. A real win-win. Section 4. The greenhouse effect. Now we're going to scale up from human-made buildings to an epic, truly planetary level. But to understand the Earth, we actually have to start with a literal glass greenhouse. You see, a greenhouse maintains this beautiful, warm environment that's perfect for plant growth by acting as a giant heat trap. But how exactly does glass trap heat? Let's look closer. Here's the trick. The sun emits short-wavelength light and ultraviolet radiation, and this stuff passes right through transparent glass, completely unbothered. The plants inside absorb this incoming light, they warm up, and then they emit their own heat. But they emit it as longer wavelength thermal radiation, or infrared. Now here is the absolutely crucial part. The glass completely blocks this longer wavelength radiation from escaping. It basically reflects it right back in to maintain that thriving, warm environment. It's a one-way street for heat. Which brings us to Section 5, global warming. Connecting the micro of that literal greenhouse to the macro of our entire world, well, it turns out Earth's atmosphere works almost exactly like those glass panels. Certain gases in our atmosphere, specifically carbon dioxide and water vapor, absorb solar energy and trap the heat. This natural greenhouse effect is entirely responsible for supporting life as we know it. I mean, without it, the Earth would literally be an icebox, way too cold for us to survive. But this delicate balance brings up a pretty critical question, one that scientists are actively dealing with right now. What exactly happens when the levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere rise significantly?
Well, according to the data, in recent years, the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere has increased significantly, and this fundamentally strengthens that greenhouse effect we just talked about. As a result, more and more heat is being permanently trapped. This leads directly to a rise in the Earth's average temperature, which is the phenomenon we all know as global warming. And to be clear, this isn't just about feeling a tiny bit warmer during the summer. This increase in temperature has severe, far-reaching implications for global climate patterns worldwide.
So I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. If your coffee gets too hot, we can simply pop the lid off our expertly engineered thermos flask to let the trapped heat out. But Earth is our only home. How do we cool down a closed planetary system before it's too late? Thank you so much for exploring the amazing physics of heat transfer with me today, from the pans in our kitchen right up to the future of our climate. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.